reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus passed through towns and villages, teaching as he went, and making his way to Jerusalem. Someone asked him, "Lord, will only a few people be saved?" He answered them, "Strive to enter through the narrow gate. For many, I tell you, will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough. After the master of the house has arisen and locked the door, then you will stand outside knocking and saying, 'Lord, open the door for us.' He will say to you in reply, 'I do not know where you are from.' And you will say, 'We ate and drank in your company, and you taught in our streets.' Then he will say to you, 'I do not know where you are from. Depart from me, all you evildoers.' And there will be wailing and grinding of teeth when you see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves cast out. And people will come from the east and the west, and from the north and the south, and will recline at the table in the kingdom of God. For behold, some are last who will be first, and some are first who will be last." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Well, again, welcome to the students who are here for the first time. It is a pleasure to have you with us. This is your home away from home, your church away from your parish back home. So today in the Gospel, what we hear are a lot of words that might sound a little disturbing, but we also have a question that's being asked. Some of the words that sort of tend to make us sit up when we hear the gospel, when we hear church talk. We hear words like, that kind of wake us up. Like, I know the word like exorcism kind of wakes people up. When I say exorcism, people are like, ooh, what are you going to talk about? And they get all excited. Or when I say dogma, right, it has a weight to it. Has a weight. People say, oh, it's dogma. What does that mean? What are you going to talk about? This person who asked Jesus the question today, he asked the question, will only a few be saved? He's not asking about himself. He's not saying, will I be saved? He's saying, will only a few be saved? And he's wondering about it. And Jesus uses a word. As a good master, he doesn't actually answer the question, right? He doesn't answer the question. Will only a few be saved? He doesn't go, maybe, maybe 10, maybe 10 million, who knows? He doesn't answer the question because that's not the question to be asked, right? Will only a few be saved? But what's his response to that? What's his word that he uses? It's a word we all recognize. It's a word we all understand. He says, strive. Strive. And that word has a lot of weight when we really think about it, right? We strive for many things. For some of y'all, you strived all through high school to get into a really good university and wanted to come to this university or wherever you were going. You strive to achieve a career. You strive to be a good mom, a good dad. You strive to do the right thing. You strive all the time, right? We strive to do things, not struggle. Strive. Jesus says, just strive. Strive to enter the narrow gate. What is the narrow gate? It's loving God and neighbor. That's the narrow gate. It's not a mystery. The narrow gate isn't something that's difficult. Jesus doesn't give us anything that's difficult to accomplish. The narrow gate is the 2 great commandments. That's what it is. And Jesus will later on talk about people who try to jump over the gate and get around the gate. No, you can't get around it. If you're going to be inside the kingdom of God, you have to love God and neighbor, or at least you have to strive to do it. If you haven't made it there, like, I really can't stand that person. I really hate him or her. I can't take it anymore. Well, strive. Strive to love that person a little bit. Just a little bit. And you get in. That's the way into the gate. Right? It's not hard. It's not hard, but you got to make an attempt at it. And that's what Jesus is talking about. He's talking to the scribes and the Pharisees right now who are saying, yeah, there's all these ways to approach God, and we don't want people to break any of these 10,000 rules that we made up, and we want to make sure people can't get too close to God because then they really won't understand it, so we're going to tell them what to do. And Jesus is saying, no, you're going to be so surprised when you guys are sitting outside of the gates, when you guys are sitting outside of it all, There's going to be people from the north and the south, the Gentiles and the pagans, right? They know exactly what Jesus is talking about. Gentiles and the pagans are going to be in there with me. Wow. So will only a few be saved? That's not the question. But what you should do is at least strive to follow the great commandments that I've given you. Strive. Are you going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Are you going to at least try? Yeah, you should. You should. You got to strive to get there. You got to strive to do it. Just like you strive to do anything else in life, we are called to strive to love God and to love our